Wanna do your intro, my guy?
Okay, let's start. Welcome back, guys, to Sleep Avenue, where we sleep the tea and avenue for another story. And it's been less than one day, and we are back. So what are we talking about today, Azu?
What's up? So we're gonna talk about paranormal shit. And then, basically, we actually put in extra effort for today's podcast episode. Cause look where we are. We are literally at Pasir Ris Park. And literally beside us is the whole park by itself, and it's creepy as shit. Then right beside it is like a bungalow that has what do you mean? What do you see?
It's like a villa, and there's a house under construction which looks abandoned, but
yeah,
like in Malaysia lah, basically.
To sum it up, basically we are alone je, and it's creepy, and it's gonna set the mood for telling horror stories. So you know, yeah, let's start.
Okay, I think we should start with Zul, since I don't have much experience in this.
Yeah, most of this podcast episode is just gonna be me
the spotlight
talking about ghost stories to Arwan and then just seeing his reaction and shit. And we also bought Max, so we're gonna eat while we talk.
Give me my food, thank you.
Hold on.
my fries first.
Hey, you want this upsize or not?
No.
What? How do we tell the difference though?
Upsize is like longer. Yeah, this one is large.
Oh, this large?
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. We will distribute the food first and then we'll start talking. Alright. Okay. Also, we are using an external mic for this podcast because the outside area is kind of windy and it might like disrupt the whole audio and stuff. Especially because of iPhone mic is quite shit as heck.
Okay, let's start.
Okay, so I have just recently shifted from like Bedok to Tampines, and if y'all live in Bedok, y'all would know that Bedok is quite sus. It's like there's a lot of paranormal shit going on. There's majority of the blocks in Bedok are sus, or like you at least like heard about stories there. So I lived in I can't tell the block, right? That's usually people don't tell the block. Okay, yeah. So my house is damn sus. Like at least once every few months we will like kind of sense or like spot some shit that is not supposed to be there. So, but however, the most things actually happened right before we actually shifted house, which was from Bedok to Tampines. So, it was experienced by me and my sister, and basically we actually shared about this to one another after we shifted house, and then we realized, yo, that was actually quite sus. So first, I'll talk about my sightings or like my experience with the house before we shifted, and after I'll talk about my sister's one. So basically, the first one was quite normal, I would say.
Sorry guys, technical difficulties.
Alright, he's just gonna put the laptop there. Okay, so the first incident was like I wouldn't say incident, the first sighting was not really that scary, but it was weird after I experienced it. So first of all, okay, so basically it was at night time, and then I was waiting for my sister to actually get out from the bathroom, and then I wanna get in and then brush my teeth, and then before I sleep, personal hygiene and stuff. So I was just sitting on the sofa in the living room, right? And then from my vision, I can basically see the alleyway from the kitchen that leads to my sister's room and my room. So from the alleyway, basically after you exit from the kitchen, you'll go through the alleyway to go to your room. So I'm just sitting at the sofa, right? And then I'll see the alleyway, okay? And then basically from the corner of my eye, I saw my sister getting out. Okay? So literally from the corner, I was looking at TikToks lah.
And in your room already or what?
No, I was in the living room on the sofa, but I can see the alleyway that leads to our rooms. So then I was from the side of my eye while I was watching TikTok, I saw my sister walking past. Now I saw her going into her room. So I was like, oh, that was fast, because she literally just entered like 3 minutes ago. And I'm pretty sure you don't take like only 3 minutes to like brush your teeth and like wash your face and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, that was fast. Okay, I'll give it like 1 or 2 minutes before I go to the bathroom, because I wanted to watch this TikTok that was like 1 or 2 minutes long lah. So then after that I went and then I went to the kitchen, right, to go to the toilet. Then I saw, why is the toilet like still on? So I almost opened it lah. Then I heard my sister. I'm like, yo, why are you still in the bathroom? Like why did you go back in? I want to wash my face. I want to like brush my teeth and then go back to sleep. And she's like, huh? I haven't even leave. Then I'm like, no way, you just left a few minutes ago and then you came back in. Then she's like, no, I never. And then at that point of time I was like, nah, I must be tripping. So then I went to my parents' room and I asked them, because my father and my mother was both there lah. So I asked them, Ma, Pa, do you like ran from the kitchen all the way back into the room? Then he said, no. Why? And I said, huh? Legit lah. Then I asked my younger brother, did you go to the kitchen and then go back into your room? And then he said, no. Why would he? And clearly from the side of my eye, I saw it was my sister because 100%. I've been living with her for what, like 19 years, so I can tell when that figure is my sister. So I was like, fuck, what the shit did I just see? But then it wasn't that bad because that was just one incident. Then the other one was when I was going back home from school. So at that point of time, okay, I will say the big reveal after that. So I came back home around like 3-4 p.m. And then I knocked the door. And then you know how Muslims when they go into their house
3-4 p.m. not a.m.
No, p.m. Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't expect that shit to happen in the afternoon. So for Muslims, you usually like how do I say, like
give people like prayers.
I don't know, like before you enter, you say Assalamualaikum lah, which is peace be upon you. And then like people in the house would respond to that. So I entered the house and I was like Assalamualaikum. Now when I walked in, I heard someone say Waalaikumsalam. It clearly sounded like my mother, by the way. And then my younger brother was sleeping in the living room on the couch. Then I was like, oh, my mom is home with my younger brother, you know, because she said Waalaikumsalam, right? Then I went to my room lah to change and then get ready to bathe. And then I see, why is my parents' room empty? Now I shouted lah, Ma, are you there? And then turns out no response. So I was like, maybe she's in the toilet, she can't hear me. So I shouted louder lah, Ma. And then there was no one. And I was like, what? I swear I heard someone respond Waalaikumsalam. The thing was, I wasn't wearing AirPods. Because like if you wear AirPods, okay lah, it could be the audio that disrupted you and then you imagine stuff. I took it out already. Then I entered the house and I could clearly hear someone respond Waalaikumsalam. So I woke up my younger brother. I was like, hey, you jawab or did you answer?
So it's not the song.
No, I had no AirPods already. So I was like, I asked my younger brother, do you answer me when I said Assalamualaikum? And he said, what are you talking about? I literally just woke up. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Want to fill your fish?
Yeah, sure.
So I was like, okay lah, but okay, it's 3 to 4 p.m. So I just ignored it and then I just went back to whatever I wanted to do lah. So those were the two incidents that happened before I shifted house. And then one more, which was my sister. She only told me this after we shifted and after I told those two experiences to her. Then she was like, yeah, Sasim, before we shifted, I also experienced something. Then I was like, serious? Okay, tell me. So basically,
your sister?
Oh, what do you mean?
Wait, this is the second story, right?
This is the third. This is
the third story. Okay.
What she told me lah. And so I'm gonna tell you about her experience because I only had two and she has one. So for hers, basically, she works in a preschool. So she goes to work around 6 until around 6 p.m. So it's like a 12-hour. I wouldn't say it's like a 12-hour shift lah, but by the time she reaches home, it will be like 6 p.m. So she opens the door. Basically the same thing as me. We went home. Then when you walk home, when you enter the house, you will always walk past our parents' bedroom, no matter what, to enter our own rooms. So she walks past the parents' bedroom, and then she sees a bit of the bed because when the door from that door entrance of the door, you can see a bit of the part of the bed lah. Then she saw like a pair of feet dangling on the bed, and she assumed, oh, it's just my mom. Because usually when our mother is usually like just chilling in the room, you can always see the pair of feet dangling. Then she thought, okay, but then she said it was weird because like her feet looked quite dark. But at the same time, she thought, oh, maybe because it was like 6 p.m. It was getting dark, so maybe her feet looked dark because of the lack of light. So she walked into the room, and then my younger brother was there in her room, like just chilling, playing Roblox with his PC. So then my sister was like, why I'm not sure what she asked my younger brother, but the question that she asked led to my brother saying this. He said, oh yeah, Mama went out to buy stuff with Abba, which is my father. And then my sister's like, huh? Mama went out? And then he's like, yeah, Mama went out. Then my sister was like, because she saw the pair of feet dangling a few minutes ago when she walked past. So she said, Mama, but I literally saw her in the room. And my mother was like, no, don't be like bullshitting here, you know? What is that car moving slowly? Yeah, like don't bullshit here, because I literally saw, my mom. Right? And then my sister didn't believe it at all, So she went back into the room and And legit, what my brother said was true. My mom wasn't home at that time. And the pair of feet that was dangling, God knows what was in that room. So we didn't know who it was,
like
but
black, dark.
it was a dark pair of feet.
Oh my
But
god.
my sister assumed it was my mom, because that's
Oh
usually
my God.
where my mom's feet would always be parking at lah. So that's why. So she saw, then she was like,
Okay.
she just assumed lah. So basically those 3 experiences we shared lah, and then we told each other, and then we were like, oh shit, yeah. And then we agreed that house was suspicious because like we experienced a lot of shit in that house. And
Okay.
basically in that household, the experiences that we have are usually like, oh, this figure looks like one of our family members, and this figure, it looks like what our family members usually do. And then in the end, it's not our family member. So it doesn't really, those kind of sightings and like disturbances weren't really like, oh, that ghost will like look like a ghost, you know. It will look like a mom, your dad, your sister, your brother lah. So it won't be that scary until you realize that, oh,
Yeah.
that said family member isn't actually home.
Yep.
There was one more my mom actually experienced lah. It was quite a few years ago. It wasn't like right before we shifted. It was when I was a few years old. So basically when I was a few years old, like 8, 9, 10, I was like prone to sleepwalking, you know. So my mom would be used to it lah. So like usually in the middle of the night she would see me like walking outside the living room, and then when she like what's it called, like faces me or like talks to me, you know, I'll be sleeping lah basically. So but then I'll be walking around. So it's sleepwalking. And then there was one incident where she was sleeping in the morning, and then she kind of woke up because someone tapped her shoulder, and she woke up, and then you know when you just wake up, your eyes are like not really focused, you know, like you're very blurry kind of thing. Easy, yeah, exactly, that's the word. So she saw 100% it was me, because it's either me or my sister, because it was someone small with short hair. 100% it's me. It can't be my father. My father ain't a midget, he's tall. So it's 100% me. So she saw me tapping her shoulder, and then going to sleep right beside her. Then she opened her eyes a bit more. She looked at me, and I was sleeping beside her. For 5-10 seconds, she saw me sleeping beside her. So she went back to sleep. I was like, okay lah, this guy, because I was prone to nightmares, and I was a pussy lah last time, so I would sleep with my mom. So then she saw that, she assumed I was sleeping with her. Then she woke back up again to pray for morning prayers, subuh, and she saw I wasn't there. So she's like, where am I? You know? Then
But she didn't feel like the other body beside you, or like
she felt. She saw the body sleeping there.
But
then
she saw any like, she never feel like.
I tapped her.
Oh.
I tapped her shoulder. She felt someone tapping her shoulder.
Okay.
She saw someone sleeping beside her, which looked at me. And then after that, after she wake up, I was not there. And then she went to ask me what I was doing, and turns out I was just sleeping in my room the whole time. So who was the person sleeping beside her? Who was the person that tapped her? Until now we don't know. And yeah,
Very interesting story, Zul. Not a lot of us can experience these kind of things. Some of us don't have a third eye.
I wouldn't say it's a third
But
eye.
usually, Bedok is a really hot spot. By the way, he used to live in Chai Chi there. But other spots of Bedok also, like Bedok South and like
You got any
near to
experiences?
Tanah Merah. Yeah. But I think just to add on, it's not only the location, but usually like in our religion, like those who are more religious or pious usually face this.
Really? I would say it's just.
Or maybe not lah. I mean, there are exceptions, of course.
Yeah.
But usually it's those who are more religious lah. Maybe or like those. Okay, like bringing back to the topic, like okay, so, like my brother, special needs. Yeah, these kind of people can see things also that we can't. Yeah, and spirits, yeah, they're everywhere lah. But then what I've learned is that everyone's interpretation of like the spirit is based on their like fear or their own like imagination.
That's true.
Everyone's different, yeah. So once you like I mean, of course I used to be scared of the dark and everything, but like now actually there's this one guy during Hari Raya 2 years ago, like my friend's house at the condo at Pasir Ris. Yeah, he was like a few years old. He's like at least 5 years older than me maybe. And yeah, he kind of explained us about ghosts and stuff, and like, we were watching a horror movie or something. Then he explained to us like about these things that I was like, okay, now I feel more confident. Like I don't feel scared. Yeah. So that's it. I think we hit the 15-minute mark. So you want to end here?
Wait. Your brother, special needs, can see ghosts. Tell one story that like you heard from him, or like you think he actually saw a ghost.
To be honest, I think it might be not a daily thing, but like they can see it every day. Yeah. So when like these kind of kids throw tantrum, maybe they see like at night, usually like Maghrib time.
Yeah, tell me one experience that he faced.
Jimenez got one quite recent but
See,
like it's normal. It's been normal because like kids like that behave that way and at that timing as well. Yeah, but I cannot identify like a specific like a very bad incident or what. But yeah, he will start like hitting his head and like he will like basically be like throw a tantrum lah. Like when you're angry, Usually when you see these kind of things, his mood will change, like mood swing lah. Yeah. But to us like what's going on? Like nobody disturb him, nobody like punish him, nobody scold him or what.
Right.
But then like it's Maghrib time and like there's a tree outside my house. There's a big ass tree. So like
I hate trees, bro.
Yeah, it's a big ass tree. I used to sleep in the same room as him. So like every time I wake up I would see that tree lah. Yeah. So but I don't have a third eye, so I don't know if I'm lucky or not. But yeah, I think I should be lucky because I don't get to see why. I don't know how people deal with this lah. But yeah, that's just my take on this.
Alright. Before we end it off, Arwan mentioned about Hari Raya. And then when he said Hari Raya, I remembered one story that my mom told me that happened a few years back.
I think I know this one.
Yeah, I think I told you before. And then it was scary, but I didn't experience it. It was my mom and other people. Okay, so to end it off, this story was during Hari Raya. It was our open house. So you know how if Malay families, every single day is a different open house, you know.
Yeah.
So on that day, it was my family's time to have an open house. So we were just lepaking, and then we open the door and just close the gate, you know. Basic, you know. If you close the door, I feel like it would be kind of rude lah. So like we just open the door, close the gate, and then everyone's chilling, having a blast basically, and talking shit about other people. So it was in the living room lah.
Man's gotta wash his hands.
Faster, boy, faster. Okay, and so basically, they were all chilling. I was with my cousins, and basically we were just chilling in my sister's room because there was aircon, and it was away from all the old people who are just talking about stuff that you can't relate to. So we just chilling with the cousins, and then this was what was experienced by people who were outside, who were in the living room and in the kitchen. So my mom was in the kitchen with all the other aunties, and we were talking about food and stuff like that. Whereas my father was with all the other uncles and the other guys. They were watching, I think, soccer. It was around 12:30 AM around there, because they always chill until damn late. So 12:30 AM, you know. And then they were just watching, and then the others in the kitchen were just talking, you know. And then somehow they heard someone literally say
like what?
Assalamualaikum, you know. And then the one that was sitting right smack near the gate, because if you are near the gate, you can definitely see who is walking past or who said that shit. What?
Was the gate open? Was open?
No, the gate was closed but you can still see through. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was facing the TV, and then the gate was there, right? So when the person said Assalamualaikum, he looked there. There was no one. And then he looked at the others lah, like my dad, the other guys watching, and they also look at him because they knew that guy would be the first to see. Then that guy,
so they all heard it lah.
Yeah, when he heard Assalamualaikum, he was the first to say Waalaikumsalam. So they all look at him first lah. And then everyone was like, yo, who's that? My dad was like, siapa tu? Like, who's that lah? And then he looked, there's no one. Tak ada, there's no one. And then the weird thing is the people in the kitchen also heard it. My mom and the other aunties were like asking the guys outside at the living room, who's that? Azan come in, because they heard Assalamualaikum what? So they thought it was another cousin, another uncle or auntie. And turns out there was no one. Literally everyone in the living room, everyone in the kitchen heard as loud as they, you know. Someone saying Assalamualaikum. Was so loud that people in the kitchen could hear it amidst the talking and amidst the football volume, you know.
All the emotion.
Exactly. And the one nearest to the gate 100% confirmed that there was no one. So like, who the fuck was it? Like literally, my block was so sus, you know, that it's honestly very common for us to experience this kind of shit. And I think that was the last one.
That's a lot of experiences, Zul.
That's the last one. I wanna sleep tonight, so I'm not gonna scare myself, you know what I mean?
Very, 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 very insightful experiences, definitely. And I think that's it for episode 2 of Sleep Avenue, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode.